I wanted to write this open letter to Erica. Dear Erica, I thought it best to do this publicly. I think public conversations keep everybody honest. And there are some things that certainly need to be clarified because sometimes the gap between the truth and the lie is what happens behind closed doors. You and Charlie began dating in earnest in 2019, and in retrospect, it was accompanied by a season of a lot of change. For one, I was getting married and virtually, therefore, joined at the hip with my fiance. He was sort of a new third wheel at all of our events. A few months later, on May 1st, the public was informed that I was resigning from my position as the communications director of Turning Point USA. Now, there has been a lot of public speculation as to what led to that decision. The media ran with it was anti-Semitism or some disagreement about Kanye West, but that wasn't true. None of that was true. The truth, and I think that you very well know what the truth is, because you were around for it, is that Charlie and I had a disagreement, which fractured my trust in him. He did something that he had never done before. He lied to my face about money. Now, in retrospect, I believe that the manner in which I discovered the lie might have been by design, but there's no need for us to delve into conspiracy when the facts are plenty enough. Charlie had taken a meeting down in Florida with Ike Perlmutter at Mar-a-Lago. It was a fundraising meeting. For whatever reason, he did not want me to know about this meeting, and that was strange. It was meant to be kept a secret. It was strange because we had always collaborated on and taken those sorts of meetings together. Anyway, I found out about it, and I decided to ask him casually as we were riding up an elevator at the Trump Hotel in D.C. I said to him, have you heard from Ike recently?
So this is what we're going to be talking about today. I would like to look into this theory of Charlie Kirk faking his death. And my main question, after talking to Jesse on Fire, we did a live stream yesterday. Why was Candace, which was Charlie Kirk's best friend, not involved in the faking, if he did fake his death? Why did they leave her out of the loop? And on top of that, something that Jesse on Fire brought up yesterday, there was, it was supposed to be you. And everybody thought when Andrew Covid told Candace this, and I'll show y'all the video when Candace said it, it was supposed to be you, actually meant it was supposed to be you to take over Turning Point USA as the CEO. And Candace, along with the rest of us, thought Andrew Covid was saying it was supposed to be you, meaning it was supposed to be you that got assassinated instead of Charlie Kirk. So I would like to delve down and go deeper into the thought process and ask a lot of questions about why was Candace Owens not involved or kept in a loop pertaining to if, because it's just a pontification, if Charlie Kirk indeed faked his death. And I came across this video where Candace, a lot of people were thinking that she got fired from Turning Point USA, but she resigned. But it sounds like she reluctantly resigned. What was going on with Turning Point USA at the time that Candace was there, and why was it needed that she resigned right when, not when Charlie Kirk lied to her, but when it seemed like Erica Kirk didn't like Candace Owens, and Erica Kirk was the one that was putting a wedge between her and her friend Charlie Kirk. And what does Erica Kirk have to do with this whole thing specifically? Because I think this whole thing has everything to do with Erica Kirk. So I'm back this up a little bit and listen to this part right here. And everybody make sure to hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let's get it.
Fundraising meeting. For whatever reason, he did not want me to know about this meeting, and that was strange. It was meant to be kept a secret. It was strange because we had always collaborated on and taken those sorts of meetings together. Anyway, I found out about it, and I decided to ask him casually as we were riding up an elevator at the Trump Hotel in DC. I said to him, have you heard from Ike recently? And he looked me right in the face just as he was getting off on his floor. And he said, no, I haven't. I haven't heard from him in like 2 weeks. And I then said back to him, really, Charlie, because you had lunch with him yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. And I saw his stomach drop.
Hey, Lynette, what's going on, Lynette? I ain't seen you in a minute. Everybody drop your seat in the chat.
His entire face looked, as if he was going down a roller coaster. He stuck his arm back in the elevator really quickly and tried to explain it away. He then pivoted toward an apology, but obviously the damage was done. And if I'm being honest, I was as hurt as I was shocked and confused by it because we were close. We did go back down to the lobby. We sat at a table and we talked. I don't even remember whether or not I was angry. I probably was. That does tend to be my choice emotion. But deep down, there was a part of me that knew that it was coming because of a lot of the new hires that were coming into Turning Point USA post Kanye tweet. Charlie had new people in his ear that were hijacking his ambition, making him believe that money was the truest measure of success. Charlie was a brilliant fundraiser. Everybody knows that, but he was also young. He was naive to what the wrong money could invite into his life. And I warned him. I warned him in that restaurant. I warned him specifically about Stacey Sheridan. Everything about her made my skin crawl. And I suspected she and Tyler had something to do with it. I also warned him about Schaefer Security and Dan Flood. You can check the text messages because you have them. And now I am left wondering, obviously, if Charlie had heeded my advice, if he would still be alive. I've also come to another realization that I missed at that time. Maybe the newest and the...
Right there. If Charlie had heeded my advice, would he still be alive? I want to ask y'all, hindsight being 2020, if Charlie Kirk would have heeded her advice, would Charlie still be alive? I don't think so. But let me know, yes or no. Do you think if Charlie would have listened to Candace, would he still be alive? I don't think so. Okay, so you say, yes, this was critical. This was a critical part of Charlie sold out for money and did so consciously. No, I think he still would have died because, in all honesty, and we got to look at both factors, whether he faked his death or whether he actually died. We got to look at both because we don't exactly know. I think he still would have died because look at how people feel about Candace. Them, not us. They want Candace out of here. Remember, Candace went through this crazy threat of some French legionary that had and it was true because, she herself said that there was proof, unmitigated proof, that they were about to try to off her. So if Candace is moving in this direction, right, and they're trying to unalive her, and everybody is threatening her and telling her to stop, that was where Charlie Kirk was going. So in all honesty, Charlie Kirk died because of what he believed in, which was similar to what Candace believed in. So I don't even understand what Candace means when she says, if he would have listened to me, would he still be alive? I think Candace and Charlie Kirk, in some type of roundabout way, had the same philosophy. Charlie Kirk started this Doge audit. Charlie Kirk started asking questions. Charlie Kirk started going off on Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk started saying, bring on the Epstein files. Charlie Kirk literally was going against the machine. And because he went against the machine, and of course, is Candace going against the machine? The answer is yes. So he died because he was going against the machine. So how can you say that if you would have listened to me, he would have still been alive? I think he was listening to you. And he was doing the right thing by going against the machine. And we all know when you go against the machine, something bad happens. Martin Luther King went against the machine. JFK went against the machine. When you go against the machine, he would still be alive. And Indian Summer said, but she's still alive. Well, you got to understand, there's no reason for them to unalive Candace. So I want to say this, and I'm saying this as a black person. A white man with as much power and influence as Charlie Kirk had, it made sense for them to get him out of here because he's a white man going against the machine versus a black woman. And I'm speaking as a black man, so I'm not saying anything bad about a black woman. I just understand how black people altogether, we don't have as much overall influence, in world politics as white men do, and I'm just speaking, candidly. So a black woman speaking at the rooftop saying, hey, this is a problem, is not as influential or as problematic to the machine as a white man saying that. And this isn't about race, but it's about influence. Okay. Regardless of what you want to say about Candace Owens, we all love Candace Owens, but to the world, to white America, she's still a black woman. And a black woman is a double minority versus a white man. So there's no reason for them to spend, millions of dollars in order to unalive Candace and then turn around. Because you got to remember, speaking of white men, Candace Owens is married to a white man. So if they would have turned around and unalived Candace, her husband would have been on their asses. We don't hear nothing from her husband, who is a white man. And he's a white man that I would say is more powerful than Charlie Kirk. Not more influential, but more powerful. So it wouldn't make sense, or it doesn't make sense for them to just come out of nowhere and just unalive Candace Owens, because her husband is a white man. And now I think he's way up there. He's like, he has a lot of money. And you don't want to start like poke a bear, So I think America or whoever is just like, let Candace Owens talk. At some point, she'll fizzle out, and she's not fizzling out. But altogether, I don't see her as this threat the way Charlie Kirk was a threat. See, I remember when, and I think I got the video, Candace Owens didn't even know Trump. I think I got the video. Candace Owens didn't even know Trump. Did Charlie Kirk know Trump? Yes. Charlie Kirk knew Trump like the back of his hand. Charlie Kirk got Trump elected. So if you look at power and influence, Charlie Kirk had way more power and influence than Candace Owens, especially a year ago, 2 years ago, when they were trying to run or try to get Trump in, office. So it doesn't really make sense for them to just be running around unaliving everybody. Like you're putting a target on your back, because at some point somebody's gonna be like, all right, something's wrong. Now Candace is dead. So you got to understand that. So I don't think that. Nick Fuentes stole his power. I don't know about all that, but all right, let's get to it. Back it up just a little bit.
About Stacey Sheridan. Everything about her made my skin crawl. I suspected she and Tyler had something to do with it. I also warned him about Schaefer Security and Dan Flood. You can check the text messages because you have them. And now I am left wondering, obviously.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody make sure to hit the like button. And I keep forgetting, hit the hype button. And I'm speaking now to the people that are watching the replay. So to the replay squad, make sure you hit the hype button. To the replay squad, hit the hype button along with the like button. Because I think, you only see the hype button after the video is, after the live stream is over. So I'm talking to the replay squad. Hit the hype button.
If Charlie had heeded my advice, if he would still be alive. I've also come to another realization that I missed at that time. Maybe the newest and the biggest influence in his ear. Who was that? Obviously, it was you. You were the newest.
Yeah, I think Candace said she called Trump on the phone. No. Charlie Kirk called Candace and told Candace that Trump called Charlie to get Candace to stop talking about Brigitte Macron. And if y'all don't remember that, I'll play that next. So I want y'all to think about that. That's what happened. And I'll play that next if I can find it.
The biggest influence in Charlie's life. You kind of all arrived at the same time. And you too, Erica, you lied to my face as we sat down in that hotel and we spoke for 4 hours. But I want to be clear, it was different.
So right here, she says, you too, Erica, you lied to my face. I don't think Erica really liked Candace. I don't think Erica Kirk liked Candace. What do y'all think? Yes or no in the chat. Do you think Erica Kirk liked Candace? I think Erica Kirk hated Candace. And she just tolerated Candace because she had to, because they were best friends. Well, her and Charlie was best friends. But yes or no in the chat. Do you think Erica liked Candace? There's nowhere in hell I can think that Erica anywhere near liked Candace. I don't think so. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Trump called Candace. Later on, Trump called Candace. This is like after Candace said, no, I'm not. I'm going to find a video. He called Candace after a bunch of people called Candace. And one of those people were Charlie Kirk.
And the biggest influence in his ear. Who was that? Obviously, it was you. You were the newest and biggest influence in Charlie's life. You
Erica Kirk.
arrived at
She's talking about Erica Kirk right here.
the same time. And you too, Erica, you lied to my face as we sat down in that hotel and we spoke for 4 hours. But I want to be clear, it was different. You see, with Charlie, I could forgive him. We were always like brother and sister. We went on tours thereafter. But you didn't do it when you lied. You didn't do it out of naivety. You didn't do it because you were young and being pulled into the wrong direction by bad faith actors. Andrew Colvett was never going rogue. You knew that. Every single evil thing that was done to me was done with your blessing. And I consider the onslaught of attacks that I had to endure, they were evil. Because you knew I was telling the truth, and you...
Because Erica hated you. I think Erica hated Candace Owens' guts. I think she hated Candace.
Authorized people with an incredible amount of money to attack one of the few people in politics who was actually grieving your husband. You knew.
I think Erica only likes herself.
We had a deep friendship. You knew I was telling the truth about the Catholic thing, about everything. You allowed these people to lie and to say that Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019. I mean, it's crazy how much of a lie that was. You authorized it, and I now know that. The question is why? It was so cruel. It was so mean, right? Why impart that on someone who you know, within a sea of snakes, actually cared about Charlie and didn't want anything out of the organization?
Okay, so now let's get into this, because this is the reason why we're here. Why didn't Charlie let his best friend, Candace, know that he was going to fake his death if that actually happened? Let's break this down, because that's the reason why we're here. If Charlie Kirk faked his death, why did he not tell Candace? The first thing I would easily say is because his wife, Erica, hated Candace Owens, and it made no sense for them to have to work together after Charlie Kirk died. So think about that. This is Charlie Kirk's widow. If Erica Kirk had to spend the rest of the next few months or the next 2-3 years dealing with Candace Owens at the helm of Turning Point USA, I think that would have drove this woman crazy. because I personally think she hates Candace Owens. She despises Candace Owens. So that's the first thing. Nobody is going to want to deal with Candace Owens and, after Charlie Kirk is quote unquote dead. So that's the first thing why they didn't tell Candace, because nobody likes Candace in Turning Point USA other than Charlie Kirk. So to go a little farther, would Candace Owens have kept quiet on how deceptive all of this was? The answer is no. It's not really in her heart to just sit around lying about stuff for any reason. Because I personally think, and I don't know Candace, we're not friends, but I've seen enough of Candace throughout the years, not even now. Like, I've been following Candace for like probably a decade. Candace does not care about what other people think. If she believes something, she's going to say it, and say it with her chest. So everything that we've seen having to do with Turning Point USA has been disingenuous, disgusting, and deceptive. So I don't think Candace Owens, just as a person, is open and honest as she is going to be okay with deceiving the American people and deceiving the followers and the supporters of Turning Point USA and the supporters of Candace Owens. And she's just going to go out there and say, oh my God, he's dead, and knowing that he's not. I don't think she's going to be okay with that. And that's just my opinion. So that's one reason why Candace Owens was not in the loop. 2, Candace is 1,000% against IHOP, but so is Charlie. Or was Charlie against IHOP? Because he wasn't against IHOP, then he was against IHOP. So it seemed like Charlie Kirk was like a little flip-floppish about whether he was with IHOP. He turned down $1 billion, but at the same time, he went and kissed the wall and all this other stuff. So it seemed like, depending on what was going on with Charlie, he was with IHOP or he was against IHOP. So I think Charlie was kind of like on the fence, and then he just decided to just go gun-ho against IHOP, right? So if he faked his death and is still running things, which shows that there's a possibility that Charlie Kirk did not fake his death, I want y'all to think about this. Charlie Kirk, out of nowhere, was gun-ho against IHOP, right? So Charlie Kirk is still running things in the back. Why are they accepting the money now? Why are they pro IHOP? Why would his wife, if he's still alive, be like doing all this geofencing to all these churches? So that's the thing that we have to pay attention to. And that's the thing that confuses me. Because if Charlie Kirk was still alive, why is he okay with them accepting the money when he was not, when he was alive? Well, officially alive, I will say. He wasn't taking the money. So that would tell me that he's not still alive, because Turning Point USA would still be an anti-IHOP company. They're pro IHOP. So it seems like they got him out the way so they can take the money. They took the $1 billion. So I don't think Charlie Kirk is alive. But come tomorrow, I might get some new information and be like, ha, I think he's alive. So I don't know. I just don't know, y'all. Okay? I'm not the all-knowing wizard. I don't know. So one day I'm going to be like, I think Charlie Kirk is alive. But today, as I'm looking into things, I don't think he's alive because he was against IHOP. Why did they take the money if he didn't want to take the money when he was alive? I'm just saying. So Candace is 1,000% against working with IHOP. So if Charlie was 100% against working with IHOP, Why would he fake his death and still be running things? Why would they not be against IHOP now? They changed their entire tune. 3, would Candace have been a better CEO than Erica Kirk? What do y'all think? Would Candace Owens be a better CEO for Turning Point USA than Erica Kirk? What do y'all think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. Would Candace Owens have been a better CEO for Turning Point USA than Erica Kirk? My answer is going to surprise you. Come on, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Somebody said anybody would have been better than Erica. So y'all are saying yes, Candace Owens would have been a better CEO for Turning Point USA than Erica Kirk. My answer is absolutely not. And this is not an indictment on the beautiful, amazing Candace Owens. So just for the record, this is not an indictment on Candace Owens. But if you look at where Turning Point USA is going and where Turning Point USA was going when Charlie Kirk was alive, Candace Owens would have steered the company in a totally different direction. So let me show you this, because I want to show you where Turning Point USA was going. Watch this video.
It isn't even TP.
All right. So, and mind you, this is Turning Point USA before Charlie Kirk died. Watch this. This is the direction Turning Point USA was going. You actually think Candace Owens was going to keep the company going in this Luciferian direction? Watch this.
The strangest part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco. Not a self-help book, not a political rant, a blueprint for psychological warfare, mass persuasion, narrative control, cognitive terrain. And Aquino was also an open Satanist. He never hid it, never denied it.
Aquino and his wife, you are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
Correct.
Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army has known about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, with what exactly is this strange and unusual thing. And I've talked about it in much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it, the same as it would to anybody who is, say, a follower of Hinduism or of Buddhism or any other slightly unusual religion today.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine and okay? Yeah.
Now here's the part people skip past. Aquino didn't write Mind War alone. His collaborative with retired Major General Paul E. Vallely. Fast forward. Vallely sits on the board.
Paul E. Vallely sits on the board of advisors at Turning Point USA. So do you think a devil worshiper that is in psychological programming, and the majority of these people learned this psychological programming from Fort Huachuca, do you actually think Candace Owens would have been okay with a Satan worshiper on the board of advisors? No, she would have got in there and started firing everybody. So now do y'all see what I mean? She would make a great CEO for another company, but not Turning Point USA, because Turning Point USA is Luciferian. And I did a video about that. So watch this. This man is on a board of advisors. Candace Owens would have fired his ass.
Fast forward. Vallely sits on the board at Turning Point USA. So take a step back. Strip away the merch, the slogans, the crowd noise. What is TPUSA actually doing? It's not just debating ideas. It's persuasion at scale, changing minds, moving groups, steering perception. And when the same people tied to a psychological warfare playbook are embedded inside a movement built to shape mass belief, coincidence stops being a useful explanation. This isn't about symbols. This is about methods. Because mind war doesn't care what flag you wave. It only cares that you don't notice you're waving it.
Okay, literally, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I think maybe I've just been living under a rock because I didn't know this, but I am shook and I'm going to share with you guys. So this guy right here is Michael Aquino. He was a psychological warfare specialist in the U.S. Army from 1968 until 1990. He was involuntarily discharged.
You actually think Candace Owens would have been okay with this type of mess? I want y'all to think. Do you actually think Candace Owens would have been okay with this? No. She would have fired everybody and brought in new people and would have totally changed the direction of Turning Point USA. What's up, love and compassion?
Because of allegations of ritual sexual abuse of children. Throughout this time, which he was a devout Satanist and self-confessed neo-Nazi who started his own satanic church in 1975 when he was still, the specialist in the army. But it doesn't stop there. I googled his name further. Guess what? Michael Aquino, the Church of Satan. So obviously I read about the author to make sure it was him. And it was. And he actually has a couple other books as well. And evidently he was a super rare political military officer in the psychological operations unit. I hate that.
Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino and his wife Lilith are the heads of the world's leading satanic cult, the Temple of Set.
Fort Huachuca is one of the most important military bases in the United States, but if you were to ask an average American where it is, they wouldn't be able to point to it on a map. Now, before we go any further, quick poll in the comments. Have any of you heard of Fort Huachuca before today? And be honest, I know you can't see it clearly on this map, but this is Fort Huachuca, and it sits on the southeastern tip of Arizona, and it borders Mexico. Fort Huachuca has been around since the late 1800s, and it was originally used to control the frontier, but what it is now...
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
What it is now
is completely different. Today, Fort Huachuca is basically the brain center for military intelligence, cybersecurity, electronic warfare, and surveillance training. This is where Army intelligence officers are trained. If it involves...
See, all of this with Turning Point USA, it's about surveillance. It's about geofencing. Turning Point USA is way bigger than just arguing with students, on campuses. This is about surveillance. This is about making the country a surveillance country, not a surveillance state, a surveillance country. This is way bigger than what y'all think. Candace Owens would not have been cool with any of this stuff.
Signals, data, drones, or information warfare, it most likely passes through Fort Huachuca. So while
yes, it's a CIA hub. This whole thing is about surveillance. This whole thing is about data farming, people farming.
while most other bases teaches soldiers how to fight physically, Fort Huachuca teaches officers how to fight with information. And in modern warfare, everybody knows that data and information is king. Fort Huachuca is quiet and remote and intentionally low profile, which raises an interesting question. How many places like this exist that...
And from a tadpole traffic light standpoint, because you already know what Romanian angels and all this other stuff, where is Fort Huachuca? Fort Huachuca strategically sits right on the border of Mexico. And what's going on with Mexico right now? What's going on with Mexico right now? The cartel is burning it down, right? All of this is strategic. Fort Huachuca sits right there on the border of Mexico. Keep that in mind. The cartel is burning down Mexico right now. What is this going to put in the minds of America? Oh my God, we got to reopen the borders because of look what's going on with Mexico. either go to war with those people or just let the border back open and let more children back in. Yes, the cartel is the CIA, right? So that means the cartel, because I want y'all to think about this, because I'm sure all of y'all, put a 1 in the chat if you are aware of what's going on in Mexico right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're aware of what's been going on in Mexico. They're burning down planes and cars and all this other stuff. Put a 1 in the chat if you're aware. Why do you think they're allowing all this to happen? They're shooting, they're powing up the literal airport. You think the Mexican government is just going to allow them to burn down literal airplanes? Yes, because they are the government also. The cartel is the government. So the thing about it is, all of this is connected to Turning Point USA. So I'll say it again. The cartel, the CIA, and what they're doing in Mexico right now has something to do with Turning Point USA, because Fort Huachuca sits right there on the border of Mexico. All this stuff is connected. And a lot of this stuff has something to do with children.
We never even think about it.
So the thing about it is, no. Candace Owens would have been a terrible CEO for Turning Point USA for so many reasons. Let me show y'all something. I thought I had it up already. What is this? Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, I'll get back to it in a second. Let's get to this.
Erica Kirk murdered. Candace Owens is going to get Erica Kirk murdered, just like Charlie, because of Candace Owens, because of George Farmer, because of her employees, because of her funders, her sponsors, her backers, everyone that is allowing this to continue. What are you going to do if one of your crazy cultists goes too far? We just saw someone try to hop the fence at Mar-a-Lago to take out the president over the Epstein files. You really think that some of these crazy Candace followers won't try to take a shot at Erica Kirk? Maybe we should investigate Candace's life and her rise to fame. Very checkered past. Maybe we should look at her husband. Also very checkered past. Well, I wonder how squeaky clean her employees are. That'll be interesting to find out. I wonder about her Scientologist donors that she has. That'll be interesting to find out about. Maybe we do an investigative series into Candace. I wonder how much she and her British Lord husband and his family would love that.
All right, so let me see if this is the Candace video that I was looking for. Let's see. What is this?
Into the Turning Point USA story and tell you guys something that's been bothering me about Rob McCoy. Stick on him. Other than the fact that he lies and he of TPUS faith aligned with the Christian right. McCoy.
So this is an example of how everybody connected to Turning Point USA was part of the facade, and Candace Owens would have burnt all of this down from a positive standpoint, because everybody connected to Turning Point USA are pieces of crap.
Bothering me about Rob McCoy, stick on him, other than the fact that he lies and he proclaims to be a pastor, is the fact that less than 36 hours after Charlie died, less than 36 hours, exact time, at 10:34 p.m. Eastern on September 11th, the Turning Point USA Wikipedia received a rather interesting update. Pastor Rob McCoy, who had previously never been featured on their Wikipedia page, somehow got his own heading. Just amazing. Let's check out that fresh entry now. It reads, Rob McCoy and Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA Faith, TPUS Faith, together. Along with being a Pentecostal pastor in the Calvary Chapel Association, McCoy is the co-chairman of TPUS Faith, aligned with the Christian right. McCoy inspired Kirk to amalgamate Christianity and social conservatism. During the COVID-19 pandemic, McCoy was known for speaking out against prohibitions on the holding of in-person church services. Now, the hardest part of being me is that I came up through Turning Point USA, so I just know these lies so quickly, okay? No, Rob McCoy was not the person who inspired Turning Point USA Faith. Actually, if anybody could be credited with that, that was like way back in the day at Liberty University, actually. Those pastors, those conversations, I was there for that. We should do like a faith division, whatever it is. He didn't inspire it. And what's so interesting about that entry is that when you then click it, this is how you know this is absurd. When you click the actual notations that are there, when it says he's the co-founder, what are you talking about? Since when is he the co-founder? And it also says that he was the chairman. When you click it, that article, which they pretend is a note, hit the 54, Skylar, not 55, okay? That's from November 24th, 2024. That's the justification for saying he was a founder. Nowhere in that article does it say that he's a founder or the chairman. Nowhere. They just put a fake article, a real article that never said this. And they're like, oh, now it's sourced. It's here forever because nobody ever does their homework. And we're Wikipedia. So you can't question this, obviously. And then you can see the second citations that are used. September, the dates of them, September 10th, September 2025. So it's brand spanking new, you guys. Still has tags on it. Less than 36 hours later. Now, you might be thinking, trying to justify that, as I was, you might be rationally wondering, well, look, there was a lot of interest in Turning Point USA following this assassination.
So as you can see, everybody's trying to take over Turning Point USA. Candace Owens would not have played any of this with them. She would have fired everybody and would have started over with a whole new crew, and Turning Point USA would have been a positive company. Let me read these super chats real quick. Shout out to Tracy. Candace is still connected to IHOP. Let's say IHOP and not that not that word. So is George Farmer. I'll explain it in the next chat. Tracy says Candace is still connected to IHOPia. Here's Tracy again. And thank you for explaining this, Tracy. Candace, Blexit, American Conservative Union, National Religious Broadcasters, and the Intercollegiate Studies Institute, all tied to IHOP. What happened to the TPUSA rise? I gotta look into this. What do y'all think about this? According to what Tracy is saying, Candace is connected to IHOP. I don't agree, but I'm just trying to be objective and just allow information to flow and see where it goes. So I don't know. I gotta look into Blexit. Real quick commercial break, and I want y'all to ponder on what she's saying. Real quick, commercial break.
Way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
I have to sit with what Tracy just said and just look into that. I gotta sit with that. But let's keep going. You just kind of like just hit me a little bit, and I gotta figure out what to do with that information. All right, but let's keep going. What is this video? Because I'm looking for something in particular. This may be it right here.
Now, despite all of this, and this breaks down the very many by him, very expensive properties, by the way. There's always going to be a real estate It's almost going to be like a real estate theme and what we're going to discuss later. They're breaking down like this guy owns a ton of properties. He's moving a lot of properties. That's interesting to me. When the money is looking funny and you see that people own a lot of properties, you should be interested. Okay, I'm not making any allegations against him, but I'm going to make some broader allegations that when I started piercing this layer of the Mormon church, I was like, is this a church?
Somebody said, does he read comments? You got to put your comment in the super chat, just like Tracy is doing for me to read it. So no, I'm not reading comments. I'm looking for different things. I read a couple comments, but you got to put like this. You got to put color behind your comment. Candace is IHOP's controlled opposition. Tracy again. Tracy, you are. I don't know what to think. Like, but thank you for commenting. But I gotta look into that, Tracy. But if y'all want me to read your particular comment instead of just random, I can randomly read a comment. Just if I catch one. But if you want me to read your comment, you got to put color behind it and put it in the super chat. I can't guarantee I'm going to read a comment. I'm sorry. But let's keep going.
Church, or is this a real estate empire? Never seen so many real estate transactions in my life. People that were paying cash more than what the property was worth. And I'm going.
See right here with Turning Point USA Faith, because you're probably wondering what this has to do with anything. Turning Point USA Faith may have two different parts to it. One, Turning Point USA Faith is an indoctrination system that is getting people to actually, sign in or sign on to the IHOP push, right? Try to get everybody to become IHOPians. But another side of this may have something to do with real estate and money laundering. And that's what Candace is talking about right here. Because buying churches and doing all this stuff with churches literally puts them in a position where they don't have to pay taxes. So this is what Candace Owens is talking about. So I want y'all to pay attention to what she's saying. This is about money laundering and real estate fraud. Watch this. Allegedly. And this is what Candace is saying. Not me.
Allegations that when I started piercing this layer of the Mormon church, I was like, is this a church or is this a real estate empire? Never seen so many real estate transactions in my life. People that were paying cash more than what the property was worth. And I'm going, when I see this much real estate being purchased in cash, I know a thing or two about money laundering. It's a good business to be in, is all I'm saying, right? It's a good business to be in. And I got to be honest, these mega churches are looking a little funny. Right. Okay? They're looking a little funny. What was it? Joel Osteen, like the plumber was fixing a toilet and found like $1 million in the hole. Do you remember this story? Mega church pastor Joel Osteen, his church. I think it was, I got to pull it up if you can find it, Skylar. The plumber's like, hey, I'm here to fix the toilet, and finds that actually there's like almost $1 million of cash in one of the walls. And I think Joel Osteen issued a statement and was like, we are very surprised to see this. It's very strange. This is in the walls of our church. That's amazing. God has blessed us greatly.
Yeah, right. God has blessed us greatly. It's crazy. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. Candace Owens would not have been okay with any of this. So because of this, if Charlie Kirk is indeed still alive, there's no way in hell they could have allowed Candace Owens to know all of this stuff that they're doing. And because, like I said earlier, I try to think objectively, I look at all of these people, including the amazing, not Mikey McCoy, but the amazing Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, yo, Charlie Kirk has to have had something to do with this. So I'm just saying, Candace is pure. Well, not pure like that, but Candace is a person that has a pure heart. She's not going to be with none of this stuff.
for supporting Israel. I'm joking. He didn't say that. But I think the excuse that he gave, here it is, the plumber doing repairs, November 10th at the mega church, blah, blah, blah. There was a loose toilet in the wall. We removed the tile and boom, 500 envelopes fell out of the wall. And I was like, oh, wow. And then the plumber contacted maintenance. And Joel Osteen's excuse was like, we had some money that was missing at the church. Here it is. Like, that's where my mind's at. I'm thinking cartel money is flowing through the border.
Right there. Remember what I just said. Remember what I just said. Cartel money is flowing through the border. Put a 1 in the chat if you see what I just seen. I told you what's going down in Mexico has something to do with Turning Point USA. Put a 1 in the chat if you caught that. What's going on with Mexico right now has something to do with Turning Point USA. And this 3-month-old video just connected the dots for me. You heard what she just said, right? She said this months ago. Now you see what I'm saying. Fort Huachuca being on a border of Mexico and the cartel burning down Mexico has a lot to do, allegedly, with Turning Point USA. Now let's go. Back it up a little bit. All of this is connected.
God see that broader implications of cash being found in any place. I'm thinking the cartels, right? Like, that's where my mind's at. I'm thinking cartel money is flowing through the border and could end up in a closet somewhere. Again, I'm not correlating that to Joel Osteen, but I do think the fact that that money was found there is weird, and his excuse makes no sense. I will say that. Now, jumping back into our timeline, where was I just now? We are, though, actually. It is relevant. And it is true that Charlie did not know where the money was coming from. That's why he established Doge, okay?
A lie. A lie. I think Charlie Kirk knew exactly where the money was going and where the money was coming from. But he was acting like he didn't know, or he didn't know enough of it in order to be certain. But let's just keep going.
He did not know where the money was coming from or where it was going to. That sounds to me like a very sophisticated money laundering operation could have been happening under his nose. Now, I'm not a forensic accountant. I am saying this so that those of you who are forensic accountants can go do what you do and figure out, for Charlie, establish the internet Doge. Okay, where was the money coming from and where was it going to? And then my Turning Point insiders tell me the money was indeed looking funny. Okay, it was just a lot of money coming in really fast, then going out really fast. And I can tell you what it sounds like.
The cartel, possibly. The CIA, i.e. cartel, possibly. Fort Huachuca being on the border of Mexico, possibly. I don't know. Don't want to get sued.
Like, we don't have any facts on that. We only have just a sense of Charlie's emotion at the time. He says, no, baby, I don't know maybe where this money's coming from. I'm good. I'm not going to go to rehab in Israel, and I'm not going to take your money. Charlie said.
All right. So now let's go to paperwork.
All of the churches.
All right. We're still on the conversation of if Charlie Kirk faked his death, why in the world did Charlie Kirk not tell Candace Owens, which was supposed to be his best friend, that he was going to fake his death? All right. That is the conversation. And whether you believe he faked his death or whether you believe he is actually not here, that's not the point. We're just having a conversation, because I am on a fence on whether it is or not true. Okay. Just want y'all to know. But let's take a quick survey right here with all the information being shared. Do you think Charlie Kirk is still alive or is he dead? Whether he faked his death or not. So just say yes. Wait. Let's see. Because I don't want to have a whole bunch of people saying the word dead. So just say alive or not alive. I think that's safe because I don't want to spam the chat and then I turn around and have problems out of YouTube. So say alive or not alive. So everybody in the chat, let me know, do you think Charlie Kirk is still alive or is he not alive? So say alive or not alive. I'm starting to just think, just with everything I'm looking at, he can't be alive. But I don't know, but y'all say alive or not alive. All right, let's get into this because this is important. And shout out to Zach Costello. He has a great YouTube channel. So make sure to follow Zach Costello.
All of the churches here that they are targeting across the western part of the United States. They list every single one of these evangelical Christian churches that they are targeting to get these pastors in these churches to educate their congregations about Israel. It's a long list of churches. Remember how many churches they have here. Okay? Just log this information in as we go here. It's all important context for when we get to Turning Point USA Faith. All right? As you can see, long list of.
Now, if you would like to, let me back this up a little bit. Remember, I'm against church. And a lot of people got mad at me for me being against going to church, right? So if you would like, we can look at some of these churches and to see if your church is on this, okay? So I'm going to play this again. And if y'all want to screenshot or y'all can say pause and y'all can let me know like, hey, my church is on here, okay? So
they list every single one of these evangelical, all right?
Okay.
This starts a list of all of the churches here that they are targeting across the western part of the United States. They list every single one of these evangelical Christian churches that they are targeting to get these pastors in these churches to educate their congregations about Israel. It's a long.
Let me know if your church is on here. I want y'all to screenshot this and look at the actual churches. I can't. So I wish I would have made it slower, but screenshot this and see if your church is on here. So the first part is the actual church, and then the second side has the city. So the narrow end is the city. So y'all let me know if your church is on here. And if your church is on here, this is me proving to you to stop going to church because they're trying to indoctrinate you.
Across the western part of the United States. They list every single one of these evangelical Christian churches that they are targeting to get these pastors in these churches to educate their congregations about Israel. It's a long list of.
Why is he going so fast? So I'm trying to stop it a little bit, y'all. So y'all can screenshot it.
Churches. Remember how many churches they have here. Okay? Just log this information in as we go here. It's all important context for when we get to Turning Point USA Faith. All right. As you can see, long list of churches here. It keeps going. This is like 20 pages maybe of churches that they are infiltrating. Show Faith by Works, a Christian education and Israeli information campaign.
Now do y'all see that I'm not crazy when I'm yelling out, get away from pastors. Pastors are gay. Pastors are frauds. Pastors are this. Pastors are that. Stop going to church. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can now, excuse me, understand what I'm saying when I say don't go to church. Do y'all understand? I'm not against God. I'm against church.
The activity combat low American evangelical Christian approval of the nation of Israel.
This is word for word, verbatim, from the Jerusalem Post by Benjamin Netanyahu in 1990. If we get caught, they will just replace us with a person from the same cloth. So it doesn't matter what you do. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until.
And this is Benjamin Netanyahu saying this, y'all. And back it up. This is Benjamin Netanyahu saying this. And Benjamin Netanyahu is working with Turning Point USA, and Turning Point USA has all of these churches under their umbrella. So I want y'all to think about this. Benjamin Netanyahu is what he's about to talk about. And he's the one that is working with Turning Point USA to indoctrinate you via the churches and schools. Listen.
Nation of Israel.
This is word for word, verbatim, from the Jerusalem Post by Benjamin Netanyahu in 1990. If we get caught, they will just replace us with a person from the same cloth. So it doesn't matter what you do. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we create and control. Why? Because it's God's will. And America is big enough to take the hit, so we can do it again and again and again. This is what we do to the countries that we hate. We destroy them very slowly, but we make them suffer for refusing to be our slaves. So the man that they've convinced us is supposed to be our greatest ally, in 1990 was quoted saying that he plans to destabilize America and then in the process turn us into a forever welfare state which they control, and we will be their slaves, because that's what he does, and that's what Israelis do and Jews do to the countries that they hate, and they want to make them their slaves.
I was knee deep in
Everybody hit the like button.
registration.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Americans. And I think Turning Point USA Faith might very well be one of those organizations, as you're about to see. This is the DOJ website, FARA registrations, Foreign Agent Registration Act registration.
Remember, this is all Turning Point USA. There's no way in hell Candace would have been okay with all of this stuff happening.
This specific one is number 7653 on September 27th, 2025, 2 weeks after Charlie was killed. Just want to put that note in there. A FARA registration was filed by Show Faith by Works LLC. All right, let's bring that up right here. This is the registration that was filed. Show Faith by Works LLC. The individual that filed it was Chad Schneitger, foreign agent that is registered as the principal on this is.
And remember, the guy's name is Zach Costello making this video. The guy, the content creator, his name is Zach Costello. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and let him know I sent you.
Israel, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Services for Project Management. Describe the nature of the registrant's regular business or activity. Pro-Israel outreach, marketing to Christians. It then goes on to list other names that are involved in this. Melissa Lundy, Richard Twong Du, Robert Pursley, Emily Hemingway. They added more, and I will show you that in a second. As you can see in the foreign principles, they are all working on behalf of Israel, Foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All right, let's continue to go down here. Receipt of monies. They've already received $325,000 by Israel, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through Havas Media for the purpose of Christian outreach in the Western United States. We'll continue to go down here. I want to show you guys.
Christian outreach, y'all. All of this is Christian outreach, along with school outreach also. But they're spending a lot of money with Turning Point USA in order to indoctrinate you, your mother, your grandmother, and your kids.
Guys, number 14. So I want to note they've received $325,000. The total amount of this, according to this registration, is over $4.1 million. And to do what? That's exactly what I'm going to show you here. So again, that foreign entity there is on behalf of Israel, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then number 14 right here. Will any individuals or organizations, including public relations firms or publicity agents, participate in the preparation or dissemination of informational materials? They answer yes to that. And that company right there is Rain Cross Marketing. I want you to remember that name, Rain Cross Marketing. We'll get to them in a second. And then as you can see, showfaithbyworks.com is the website. I want to bring that up for you guys here so you can see what it is. This is their website, Faith Strategy Impact. Show Faith by Works is a Christian-based marketing and communications firm helping ministries, small businesses, and public servants share their message with purpose and power. Okay, go down here to our mission. I'll skip ahead and say our mission is simple: to empower Christian leaders, faith-based organizations, and values-driven businesses to share their stories with excellence and authenticity. So as you can see, this is a Christian front organization that is registered with FARA in order to promote, the interests of Israel. And I will show you exactly what this organization is doing. This right here is Exhibit AB. So you can go in here. This is the FARA results. You can go to the DOJ website and find all of this stuff here. All right, I'm going to...
So this is all public information, y'all. Y'all can look this up yourselves.
Can I make myself smaller here? I don't know how to do it. Whatever. So you guys can see this maybe even more clearly. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but this is the FARA registration. It's number 7.
Okay. Y'all can screenshot this if y'all want to, or make it bigger if y'all want to. I want to make sure y'all are able to catch on this and, you know, use this for your own information if you want to.
653, and you can see all of these different documents in here. There's the registration statement, and then there's all these short form documents which basically add individuals that are going to be participating in this operation along with, or I guess underneath, this Show Faith by Works LLC. But this is the important document here. This Exhibit AB outlines exactly what their operations are going to be. And that's what I'm going to read to you here. So again, name of registrant, Show Faith by Works LLC. Name of the foreign principal, Israel. Country, Israel. Indicate whether the foreign principal is one of the following. A government of a foreign country. Check. That's what that's for. All right. And then the name and title of the official with whom the registrant engages. So who is Show Faith by Works LLC actually talking to? That is Iran.
Who are they actually talking to?
Iran Sheyovich. And let me bring him up here. Who is Iran Sheyovich? He's leading Project 545, which aims to amplify Israel's strategic communication and public diplomacy efforts. He's the chief of staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. As you can,
do y'all see how important all of this is? Turning Point USA is and has always been an IHOP indoctrination, data farming, PSYOP. It is a PSYOP. They put this dorky dude in front of all of us, have all of us fall in love with him, and next thing you know, he dies or doesn't die, and we're like, oh my God, he's dead. He's the reason why all of this is happening. Charlie Kirk is a part, or was a part, or is still a part of the problem. He is this PSYOP. Charlie Kirk is the PSYOP. Not Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. Let me give y'all something to think about real quick. And we're going to go back to this. Facebook is also a PSYOP. Do you know Facebook was one of the first companies that put us in a position where we're, instead of reluctantly, we're totally okay with giving somebody our location, our information, our address, and everything else about us? Do you remember back in the day, Facebook was only for college students? That was a PSYOP right there. When you make something only for a group, it makes the group that's not included want to be included. That was a PSYOP. Do y'all remember that? Facebook was only for college students. So next thing you know, everybody wanted to be involved because they weren't able to access it. So then they let everybody else in. And everybody just was okay with just giving all your information out to Facebook. And you weren't getting anything back because Facebook wasn't video back then. It was just about, hey, I'm over here. Hey, I'm over here. Hey, I'm in a relationship. Hey, I vote for this person. They were the initial PSYOP. And what was the thing that made people want to be a part of Facebook so much? Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was this curly-haired, innocent-looking dork. Just like Charlie. Mark Zuckerberg was the first Charlie Kirk. Mark Zuckerberg was the first Charlie Kirk. A curly-haired white man that looks like a dork as the head of the thing that causes all of us to take our guard down, to let our guard down, to say, oh, okay, this is okay. I can give all my information to this. Look at this guy. He looks like a dork. He's harmless. Charlie Kirk was a psyop, just like Mark Zuckerberg was put in front of us. That was the first psyop. You put a curly-haired white young dude that looks like a dork in front of us to make us think, oh, okay, he's not a psyop. He's not terrible. He's not nothing. And next thing you know, boom, we just give all our information away. Turning Point USA used Charlie Kirk the same damn way. And when they no longer needed Charlie Kirk, they got rid of him. It's the same thing. Let's keep going. Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit the like button.
See right there for Israel. Okay, let's bring this back up now. What is the purpose of what they are doing? This is where they have to disclose exactly what their plan is. And that is here in number 8. Describe fully the nature and method of performance of the above indicated agreement or understanding. Christian outreach through various grassroots and digital targeting of Christians in the Western United States. We will create a mobile museum to display at churches, Christian colleges, and Christian events. We will target and distribute pro-Israel information online and through targeted geofencing. Remember that, targeted geofencing and digital online tools. We will have teams of people reaching out to churches and pastors and possibly even Christian social media influencers. Some of this is still undecided and fluid, but these are the outlets that we planned in the proposal. Okay, number 9 just repeats that.
See, the biggest difference between Facebook and Turning Point USA is there's no Facebook where you could just go to Facebook. Facebook is just straight online. Turning Point USA is in person. So they're kind of like the opposite of Facebook. Facebook is just online. That's the biggest difference. Now they can geofence people because they come into a building or go to a church. They're geofencing virtually all of the churches in America, all mega churches. You go to a small church, you might be okay. But they're geofencing every mega church in America. They're geofencing every school in America. This is bigger than Facebook. This is crazy. But it's all a psyop. But it's, oh, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was wonderful. Charlie Kirk was amazing. I don't think Charlie Kirk was any of that. I think Charlie Kirk was a psyop. I'm going to do a video later saying Charlie Kirk was a psyop.
Right there. And then, will the activities on behalf of the above foreign principal, which is the government of Israel, include political activities as defined in Section 1 of the Act? They answer yes. Description, encouraging Christians to have a more favorable view of the nation of Israel and to encourage Christians to visit Israel for tourism purposes. Okay, so this is the point.
IHOP already rules the world. I think they already rule the world.
Point of what they're doing. This is a Christian front organization that is working and being paid on behalf of the government of Israel to educate about Israel, about pro-Israel policies. It's basically to spread propaganda about Israel. Okay, so this is why they're registered with FARA, because they have to disclose this information to us. But here's where it gets good. All right, we're going to go all the way down here. So this, again, shows their activity. It shows everything that they have to do. This whole list shows the people involved and what their job tasks are. They've got, what they've purchased. And
just so y'all know, I kind of like have to interrupt it because I have to give commentary to somebody else's video. I can't just let somebody else's video play. So we got more to talk about involving that. Let's stop with hit with the super chats real quick. Tracy comes back and says Candace is IHOP's controlled opposition. Weird. He bought his house in 2023 and sold it in January 2025. Zero equity. Something was funny about that as well. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. He bought it for $4.6 million and sold it for $5 million. And when you look at closing costs, he didn't make any money off of that. I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you on that. Yes. Tracy comes back and says Peter Thiel is connected with the before mentioned $20 super chat. Peter Thiel, and this was her super chat right here. Candace Blexit, American Conservative Union, National Religious Broadcasters, and the Intercollegiate Studies Institute, all tied to IHOP. So this is what she's saying right here. So you might be on to something, Tracy. You might be on to something. Oh, and before we get to this, if you are still looking to buy your mother-daughter card game, but you're watching this on a TV and there's no there's no link to click because you're watching this on TV, I made it a point to put it up on the screen. So you may be wondering what this is up here. Take your phone. Everybody, put a 1 in the chat if you're watching this on your TV. I need y'all to take your phone and go to your TV and hit the QR code that is on the screen right now, and you'll see what it is. Hit the link, or either use this QR code if you're watching this on TV. You can buy my mother-daughter card game with your phone if you're looking at it on TV. Everybody else, the link is under the video, and the link is in the actual chat and pinned at the top of the chat to buy your mother-daughter card game. A lot of people are buying, and I want to say I appreciate everybody who has already bought.
Just some details on everything they're doing as far as their operations goes. Let's keep rolling. It's a pretty long document, and I looked through basically the entire thing today. We're going to get to what's important here down at the bottom. So this starts a list of all of the churches here that they are targeting across the western part of the United States. They list every single one of these evangelical Christian.
All right, does anybody want to screenshot this? He's coming back to the churches right here. Everybody screenshot this to make sure your or your family's church is not on here. And guess what? You will be surprised that your church will be on here. And if your church is on here, stop going. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all think I'm crazy when I say stop going to church. Y'all think it's something wrong with me, or I'm anti-Jesus or anti-God. No, I am pro-God. I am pro-Jesus. That's the reason why you got to stop going to church, because they're trying to target people who actually want the word of God. You got to stop going to church, y'all, because it's a psyop now. Now it is. It wasn't at first, but it is now a psyop.
Churches that they are targeting to get
screenshot
these pastors in these churches to
screenshot. Make sure to screenshot, y'all. Screenshot.
Educate their congregations about Israel.
And I don't want to say to stop going to church, y'all. I don't want to say that. But this is what's happening. This is how they're targeting you now. They target you in your most vulnerable state, which is when you're praising God. Church is not a safe place to go to anymore because of what IHOP is trying to do.
It's a long.
And make sure to screenshot, y'all. Screenshot. I want you to make sure that your church is not on here. This is Texas. Look how many churches are in Texas.
List of churches. Remember,
this is California now. Look and see if your church is on here.
How many churches they have here.
I'm pausing it so y'all can screenshot. Y'all might be like, stop pausing it. No, I want y'all to screenshot these churches.
Okay.
I'm doing it on purpose. I'm trying to help y'all. Y'all are recognizing the churches, right? These are the churches that are the psyop.
Just log this.
Is so many California churches. It's crazy.
This information in as we
look at this shit.
Go here. It's all important context for when we get to Turning Point USA Faith. All right. As you can see, long list of churches here. It keeps going. This is like 20 pages maybe of churches that they are infiltrating. Show Faith by Works, a Christian education and Israeli information campaign. The activity combat low American evangelical Christian approval of the nation of Israel.
So my answer to the question or the thought, 20 pages worth of churches, 1,000%. My answer to the thought that why, or the question I would say, why in the world did Charlie Kirk lie to Candace? Why in the world did Charlie Kirk not tell Candace what they were planning? Because Candace would have been against it. Why? Because Candace has a pure heart. This is this is literally the DNA of Turning Point USA. They are a part of the CIA. They are Luciferian. Candace Owens would have flipped Turning Point USA on his back and would have ran all these disgusting demonic people out of the building and would have made Turning Point USA a better company, and it would have ran properly. But guess what? Rob McCoy and everybody else would have got ran out of the building. Mikey McCoy. Who else? Erica Kirk. All these people would have got ran out of the building. So no, they didn't want Candace to be a part of this. Because remember, Candace said this.
Life, people that were paying cash, property was worth, and I'm going, when I see this much real estate being purchased in cash, I know a thing or two about money laundering. It's a good business to be in, is all I'm saying, right? It's a good business to be in.
Money laundering. Candace said it. Candace said it. And before we go, I want to share this.
Waking up, it's really important to understand how the fake new media, right? You are the new media. We're MAGA. We're the new MAGA media.
And this guy's name is Ryan Matter. Shout out to Ryan Matter.
For those of you that are just waking up, it's really important to understand how the fake new media, right? You are the new media. We're MAGA. We're the new MAGA media. How all of these influencers are all getting paid via these different platforms that pay content creators and put up bounties for specific keywords or topics. So for example, if you talk about the Trump assassination or you talk about Charlie Kirk's shooter being trans, and you all put out the same keywords in your title, and then once you create that post, you add your link to these platforms, and then you get paid a percentage of that bounty. Let me show you how this works. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I just want to go over to Grok, and I said, what websites pay influencers for clipping and posting content? Platforms that pay influencers for clipping and posting content are, and it says Whoop Content, Bix, Starlit Clips, and Clips. And now there's probably a ton of others, but so I set up and I went and got into Starlit Clips. So what happens when you go over to Starlit Clips? So check this out. So this is in their Discord. So they basically post here and they show you, okay, if you post on TikTok, we're paying $30 for 100,000 views. We're paying for Reels on Instagram, I believe $30 for 100,000 views. Shorts, we're paying $30 for 100,000 views. And Twitter and X, we're paying $15 per 100,000 views. Okay, now it's funded or clip for Vardan. So here's the Vardan. Post Vardan's clips everywhere. So basically this guy creates a video, and if you take his video and you cut clips from his video, his podcast, or whatever the case may be, and then you submit your links, every time your link gets 100,000 views, there's a total bounty. And I don't know if where the bounty is. We'll have to look into it a little bit. But basically, if there was like, say this would be like a $5,000 bounty. So they're going to pay up to $5,000 for the first person that actually submits and gets X amount of views for every 100,000. So if you got a video that got like, let's say 50 million views, and you use one of his clips and you submitted it, you might be able to drain that entire bounty before anybody else even gets their clip submitted. And there's tons of these different websites out there. Like I said, I've showed you just a few. Now another one is a different style, which is Bix. So you go into Bix and you add a service. Like I'm willing to create content on politics for whatever. And then brands or PACs could actually come over here and go, boom, we want to.
Belinda, what are you saying, Belinda? You want us to read your statement? What is your statement? Belinda, what is your statement?
We want to automatically choose your service. So you say, boom, here's $1,000 to make a tweet on whatever, right? So you can put up a service is I post tweets on X, for $100 a tweet, and they could go, boom, they could send you the information, they would pay you for the gig, they would tell you what you post it, and you would post it, and once you post it, you submit the link, and then these platforms act like an aggregator, or these websites act like an escrow account, right?
So what he's essentially saying is a lot of people going against Candace, a lot of people making content that is defaming Candace, they are getting financial bounties in order to do it. So that's kind of like what he's saying. So I can't find a video where Candace admitted to, well, not admitted, when she said she was talking to, maybe it's right here, talking to, maybe it's this one. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see.
There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Colvett. He said something, and it's hitting differently the more that I think about it.
Get hurt. You never know what can happen to you. You never.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Nope. That's not it. That's not it. I got to look for it, y'all. I got to look for it. The video where Charlie Kirk called, is it this? Nope. It's a video where Charlie Kirk called Candace and warned her to stop talking about Brigitte Macron. I can't find it though. I gotta look for it myself. It might be this one.
It's just getting longer every day. Yesterday, we talked about Brian Harpole, the security guy who was not convincing at all. And he basically said, we didn't have drones because...
That's not it either. I got to find it, y'all. I got to find it. I'll do another show about it. So Deborah said, both of my old churches are on that list. Yeah, man. It's sad. I want to do something because of this church stuff. I want to see if anybody wants to come up. I haven't had people come up in a minute. So I just dropped the link because I want to check on y'all having to do these with these churches. So if you want to come up and just share your opinion on all this church controversy, how IHOP is literally trying to target all these churches and indoctrinate your mom, your cousin, your kids, or whatever. I want to give y'all a second if y'all want to come up. So I just dropped the link. Look for the StreamYard link in the chat. And if you want to come up and share your opinion on how this whole list of churches is scaring the hell out of you, just like it's scaring the hell out of me, because I don't go to church, but y'all do. So I'm scared for y'all. Let me know. So I'm going to play a commercial, and if you want to come up, just click the link and I'll bring you up, because this church stuff is so demonic, and a lot of people get mad at me when I say it, but it's something that we have to talk about, y'all. Even though we don't want to talk about it, but we have to. So I'm going to play this commercial, and if you want to come up, click the link.
Way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
So nobody wants to come up? Nobody has an issue with the churches? Nobody wants to have a conversation about whether their church is on the list or not? I just want to give y'all the floor. Nobody? Okay. All right. I wanted to give y'all a voice because, like I said, this church stuff is, I'm sure it affects everybody because a lot of people go to church. But, okay. So I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I think I'm going to drop the link when I do a show tomorrow. I might do a show this evening, actually, about whatever Candace talks about, so I might do a recap show about Candace this evening. So yeah, I'll drop the link then. So I will talk to y'all later, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the hype button, and make sure to share this video with anybody that may be interested in this kind of content. Wait, I got somebody. Hold on. We got somebody. All right, sick but still kicking. Let me see your face real quick. Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
How you doing? I'm good. How you? Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on. Still stick but still kicking. I got to see your face real quick. You don't have to show it on screen. I just got to make sure that you're not a crazy person. Okay. Tracy, what's going on? So what are your thoughts on all of this? Because you're the one dropping the super chat. One, thank you for dropping the super chat.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's definitely all connected. I've been trying.
Wait. We say IHOP over here, so please don't say the country that starts with I. Say IHOPians or IHOP. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it is all connected. Although I cannot, I would fail to make all the connections. I've been requesting to see if you would get Dr. Shiva Ayadari on your show. He's a systems engineer and he completely understands the system. So you've got Peter Thiel.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Thiel is completely connected with this stuff. He's a systems engineer. The issue is you have the elite running this world through systems. Dr. Shiva teaches people brings the fire to the everyday working class, and teaches people how to use the same systems technology that the elite use to control the masses. There's a fantastic 15-minute video presentation on that he does that explains all of this. And yes, IHOP is one part of the issue. There's a lot more connections to it than just that. So, but yes, and as far as church goes, I haven't gone for years. I think church actually exists. Church actually exists in the home. And if you just so happen to able to make a connection with another family's home that shares the same values, that's gravy. Anyway.
I agree. But yeah, I'm just trying to help people understand all of this, because Charlie Kirk dying is trauma for a lot of people, because anybody we look at on a normal basis or look up to and they get assassinated right in front of us, it hurts, So I like to just kind of delve in these conversations. But the thing about it is some of these people that are put in front of us are psyops, and they're meant to make us feel good or trust the person. But just like Mark Zuckerberg was put in front of us with Facebook, I think Charlie Kirk was put in front of us, and they kind of look alike. They're just two dorky guys, and they look like they're harmless. And next thing you know, you start to trust the thing that they're pushing.
Exactly. Yes, and this is by design. This is not. This is not just. They're the elite make these people come out of the woodworks. Look, Tucker Carlson's still a part of this.
Okay.
So I mean, you look at the Heritage Foundation. Peter Thiel and these guys have all come up out of there. Blexit has funded this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody as adamant against IHOP as Candace claims she is, why would you send one penny to that foreign nation, or even the connections thereof?
So is Candace still owning Blexit, or did she sell it? I thought she sold it.
I don't know. But I know that this has gone on up to, particularly all the way up to 23.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how she has changed her tune. So it's one thing to tell the truth when it actually matters, but it's another thing because this stuff has been going on for years.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. So for as intelligent as Candace is portrayed as, for her to just come out mysteriously out of, it just seems like a grift. I mean, I know what Dr. Shiva would say. It is a grift, but
somebody killed their friend. How would you feel if somebody?
Yes, at least it appears that way. I don't know if you saw recently up in Canada, there was a video shot of Ghislaine Maxwell supposedly running around free up there. We live in today.
Wait. That was fake. I have hold on. I have an not IHOP. I have an AI person that vets stuff like that, and I can show you right here because I just seen the video. Here it is right here.
This is not an AI video, it's a deepfake, and they are very different. Deepfakes are targeted manipulations to real videos, so the artifacts will only be on and around the face, like the snack club text blurring there, the blurry fringes around her hat.
So I'll play it. I just got to send it to my computer, but that was a deepfake. But go ahead.
Yes, and I understand that. I at the same time, this only actually only reveals a deeper issue in our society.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's real or fake anymore. The call out is the future is offline. To actually understand and grow as a society, as human beings anymore, we have to go back offline as organic people.
I agree. We have to get outside, touch grass, interact with other humans, because the other psyop is them trying to get us to just want to stay in our houses all the time and order food. See,
yep.
Grubhub and Uber Eats is a part of the psyop. They're trying to make people feel comfortable with staying in the house. And that was why COVID was what it was. They were trying to get people to, hey, just order food, stay in the house, don't do nothing, stay in the house, stay in the house, stay in the house.
Yes.
The next thing you know, people started being like, wow, okay, I don't have a reason to leave out the house and interact with other people. I could just order food and just stay in the house. So let me show everybody the video right here, because I try to help people with factual
AI video, it's a deepfake, and they're manipulations to real video.
All right, so here we go.
This is not an AI video, it's a deepfake, and they are very different. Deepfakes are targeted manipulations to real videos, so the artifacts will only be on and around the face, like the snack club text blurring there, the blurry fringes around her hat and face, especially during movement, you might need to pause to catch it. Then here, the face sits on top of a blurry video. It's a total mismatch. Here it falls apart completely, and the first frame didn't have a deepfake at all. AI videos are entirely generated from scratch. That's why you look for bad backgrounds, broken text, all the AI video tells I talk about on my page, but those will not work here. This was posted by a deepfake creator. These are all their face swaps, and this technology is not new. Good AI videos are new. They're way more common than deepfakes, which is why it's very confusing to call this an AI video. It doesn't look like other AI videos, it doesn't function like them, and it uses very different technology. AI videos can generate human likenesses too, but with those, there's a lot more wrong. You're not just looking at the face. I cover how AI videos work in my latest post on Riddance, but...
So, just want to show you it. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I mean, they want human interaction with such said things like that to build out the algorithm that much better. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be the one to, I don't know. I keep on bringing Dr. Shiva's name up because he invented email at 14 years old. No, I don't think people understand that. But for somebody that understands computers and that kind of background, he would absolutely make these connections up. Anyway, yeah, I don't know of anything else.
Hold on. Let's stay with what your super chat said. You said Candace is a part of IHOP or something. Can you I don't agree with it, but I'm open to hear your perspective. So
yes. So the narrative, that if you follow the narrative, her narrative is that she doesn't support that country one iota or something down that line.
Yeah.
But there's double standards. She funds Blexit. Blexit turns around and funds smaller organizations that are absolutely tied to it. I got to pull up. I did a deep AI study on this. Pulled up a bunch of data on this the other day, and I was actually blown backwards. Peter Thiel, Justice Gorsuch, the Supreme Court's Justice Gorsuch comes out of these. I mean, you just it just goes down the line. Hillsdale College is somewhere connected to this. Anyway, if for somebody that has that much of a claims that they're that hardcore against it, you'd cut off of it, all of it. Even if you knew that there was some of that going on, you'd say, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
There is a PAC. I follow politics, of course, because Dr. Shiva is running as senator for U.S. Senate seat in Massachusetts. There's a PAC called the I don't know if I can say the word on here, but anti-Xi.
Just say Zorro.
You'll understand. Yeah.
Anti-Zorro.
Anti-squirrel. Zorro. Oh, yeah. Anti-Zorro Anti-Zorro American Political Action Committee. They just endorsed Dr. Shiva for it. And there's Cynthia McKinney's part of that endorsement. They've got a long list of folks that these are independent, either folks that are running independent or, anyway, just a little side jump there. But if you want to know where the source is, I could try to pull that up. But yeah, it's fascinating because her husband, how all of this, they just so happen to meet. You got a wealthy individual here.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, yeah. TPUS Rise, I believe, came out in 2023.
I never heard of that. What exactly was that?
Well, it is fascinating. I find the name really quite intriguing. I won't wish anything. I think what happened to Kirk, and if it actually took place, because I questioned it through and through since, is awful. But I find it fascinating. You've got a name called TPUS Rise after somebody's death.
Oh, it happened. Oh, it was formed right after he died?
No, this was before. So these plans, I believe these plans were in the making all the way up to this. I mean, I don't know about the assassination. Oops, maybe I can't say that.
Unaliving.
But anyway, the unaliving attempt.
Yeah.
The unaliving attempt.
YouTube. It's annoying talking on YouTube, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the unaliving attempt is suspect based on what information I have gathered. I just don't. The deal is and as Dr. Shiva teaches, they have control system mechanisms in place to see which way the theater will predict people's emotions are going to go.
Yeah.
So there was a huge call out amongst the American people about that foreign nation. So now you've got Candace coming out. Oh, this is part of the theater. Candace comes out, starts calling this out. She's a big influencer.
Yeah.
Then that wasn't enough to sway the masses. So now, yes, there was a pullback, but the controlled opposition is if we can have a unaliving event, then we could actually raise more dollars off the grift. But so it doesn't matter if you give positive or negative energy into the matrix, it will always, their outcome is always the same. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agree. Regardless,
So the flip,
like as an example, Charlie Kirk unaliving was bad. The what's going on, with the freaking all the crazy stuff that's going on in Mexico is bad. All of that affects the stock market. All of that affects all these other things that will cause people to actually make money on the back end. So I agree.
yes, and also just a slight rabbit. I think some of this stuff over in Mexico, I'm sure it's connected. The whole deportation thing that has been taking place, it's all theater. Dr. Shiva has just released a book titled Deportation Theater, and he actually says it's white on white crime against the elite versus the working class.
Yeah.
This isn't a race issue. It's a working class issue. That book goes into detail of how they're making massive amounts of dollars, and they have no intentions of ever resolving this issue. What happens is we go in and you know that how it goes. We go into other countries, we fight their wars, we level up, get the infrastructure set up for like in Gaza.
Yeah.
But we're going to go build condominiums, buy low, sell high, and then we wonder why we have all the and then install a dictator over in those countries
that thinks
which
like
forces all those forces all those people over here, and we wonder why we have them. Well, it's cheap labor.
Yeah.
Republicans and Democrats both love cheap labor,
and
I
just want to say this. Somebody in the chat says, "Why do you hate on Miss Candace?" I love Candace. I support Candace. I just wanted to have you on because you have a opposing view. So in order for, and this is in memory or in inspiration of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk welcomed opposing views, right? So I need you all watching to open your mind up. Whenever somebody disagrees with you, they're not a bad person. Have a conversation with the person. Because guess what? They might have a point. That's literally in the spirit of Charlie Kirk. So what's wrong with having somebody on that opposes Candace Owens when I'm for Candace Owens? What are you talking about? This is what life is all about. We can't expect everybody to agree with everything we talk about. So I like the hearing different views. So I just want to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm probably a part of that about that comment too. This is what the establishment has done: is they've created idols out of these people, and then you outsource your intelligence to these folks. You're not able to think, reason, have a real conversation with people.
Well, Candace has never tried to outsource our information for her betterment, throughout the years. I've been watching her for like the last 10 years. So you have to look. I live in Atlanta, and a lot of people scam people in Atlanta, especially in the Black community. So I pay attention to potential scammers and how they operate and how they move. And I can easily say for the last 10 years, Candace has never put together any type of situation or scenario that funneled us into something that is problematic. Because I pay attention to stuff like that. But
yes,
Charlie Kirk.
Well, what I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What I mean by outsourcing our intelligence or whatever, what I mean by that is, we'll take Trump, for instance. Said a lot of great things. I voted for him the first time around on what he said. But then you look at the actions, they don't jive. And so, but I found interesting, I don't think I ever remember the establishment ever in any of his rallies saying, we're Americans, we've got this. Not one time. It was always pretty much, or a massive percentage of, I've got this. Where's the American dream? And that's the part that just doesn't make any sense. It's not consistent.
Okay.
To be a real American, and that's what I'm talking about. These idols that get brought up.
Yeah, and Charlie Kirk, I think, propped himself up to be some type of idol. So I agree. Yeah, because I'm halfway against Charlie Kirk. I'm not fully against Charlie Kirk, but I look at Charlie Kirk with a side eye. But I don't look at Candace Owens with a side eye because they're two totally different people. From day one, when Charlie Kirk was 18, hold on, let me play this video real quick. He literally explained how he was data farming his own damn peers. So I always looked at Charlie Kirk with a side eye, and I just always wondered, like, why did y'all just let this dude get this past y'all. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is, right? No, that's not it. Here it is right here. Watch this.
Point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into it. He did it to get all the data away from.
It's right here.
They need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data, collect their data, collect their data.
Day one. Charlie Kirk is not Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a psyop from day one, and he admitted it right there. He's running around collecting people's data farming,
data collecting. Yeah.
Farming, data collecting and data farming is totally different. Because farming is doing something with your data, i.e., selling it to other people or utilizing it for a psychological operation. Collecting it is just collecting it.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. Whether we're on YouTube or any streaming platform, and even Rumble, people want to go to Rumble. This stuff is all connected.
Yeah,
it's there. I didn't even. That's a whole other topic, but
I gotta end the show because I gotta get out of here. But I just wanted to have you on to so you can share your opinion on all of this or whatever. Because I appreciate you being in chat, super chatting or whatever. And what you said kind of had me wanting to ask questions or whatever. So, and don't worry about the chat. They are pro Candace, and that's okay. Because I like listening to opposing views because that is the spirit of Charlie Kirk. Nothing wrong with that. So I appreciate you being here. You got anything else?
Well, thanks for. No, I all I would say is people can go do their research on line, ask about Blexit, that sort of thing. It should help fill in the gaps. You just kind of I did it on AI and I just typed in if I had a question about where these contributions were going. Because the real issue is, if for somebody that is not supportive of that, why would you continue to allow any support through any of the streaming of your contributions to go anywhere to that foreign nation? Anyway.
Understood. Yeah. But yeah, you're always welcome back. So, all right, I appreciate you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Bye.
All right. But yeah, man, like I said, because of all the things that we talked about today, I'm leaning more towards Charlie Kirk not faking his death because it wouldn't have made sense for him as a person that's alive being against all of this stuff. And then he dies and then the company goes in a totally different direction than he wanted it to go. That part just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I don't know. So I will talk to y'all later, but before you go, oh crap. Hold on. Another person just ordered a card game. So thank you so much. I think we're at 14 people that bought mother-daughter card games. So I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. So thank y'all so much for getting your mother-daughter card game. Not one person has ever called and said, I don't like the card game. They've all loved the card game. And just so you know, there's 2 actual decks in each card game. So it's 2 card games in one. It's one deck for the mother to ask the daughter questions, and there's another deck for the daughter to ask the mother questions. So the mother and the daughter are on equal playing fields, because you don't want either person feeling judged or questioned without the other person having questions of their own. So if you and your mother don't live together, this is the reason why I made it like this. All you have to do is mail your mother her deck, or mail your daughter her deck, and y'all can play over the phone. I thought of everything. And for those who are afraid of playing this card game with your mother, just know these questions are very supportive, loving questions. They're not triggering questions. They're not going to start an argument. I thought of everything because I've been coaching women for like the last 7 years. So I know how it feels to present something like this that can open old wounds, that can make things worse. I thought of everything. I promise you, this card game is not going to open old wounds and cause things to get worse. This is meant to heal, not hurt. So get your card games, whether you're a husband of a wife that has an issue with her mother, or whether you're a woman that may have an issue with her mother, or a woman that has an issue with her daughter. Get your card game. It's 2 decks in one card game, so it's worth the money. Hit the link, and I will talk to y'all later.
Of healing is sweeping the country, and like mother, like daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from? This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
When women say they were forced to be masculine, this is actually what it looks like. It's not masculinity, it's fear. At some early point in a woman's life, her heart was stolen from her. And now she's walking the earth as this misinterpreted, angry person, where all they actually want is for somebody to guide them, to see them, to understand them, to be patient with them. Your mother is the one that took your heart from you. The day you forgive her and the day you forgive yourself is the day you become this to us, to the world, to your children. We just want to love you, but it's up to you to allow yourself to receive it.
Blessed me and my mother with one of these decks, and I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel? How do you express this? What word could I use? Or because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question: did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car. So that was, this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it. Guys, we're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box.